to a new episode of the Dragon's Lair. This is my third time trying to do this video. First time, it didn't record. Second time, it didn't record the sound. So, I think it's time for me to get a new recording camera. But other than that, welcome. If you're new here, thank you for clicking on the video. Hit the bell icon, hit the thumbs up, and hit the subscribe button because it helps my channel grow. And if you're returning, welcome back. I hope you find this video enjoyable. Today we're going to be talking about, it's not an unboxing, we're going to be doing the Wave 4, at least two of the figures from Wave 4 of the Super 7 Reaction Plus G.I. Joe action figures that are molded and modeled after the vintage G.I. Joes from 1982 to 98. Basically, because 97, 98 were the O-ring figures, and they were anniversary figures, so I count them part as the vintage collection. But before I do that, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about the G.I. Joe figures. I have a request. If anybody that watches this video that also collects G.I. Joe action figures and has doubles of some of them, I need the Wave 1 Bats. I need Wave 2 Fatal Fluffies, or Fatal Fluffy, and I need the Target exclusive Python Patrol Bat, because my Target does not sell, for some strange reason, does not sell the G.I. Joes in store. But I will pay you the retail price for them, the $20 each, and I will pay for the shipping. And the reason I'm asking here is because I really don't want to buy them on eBay. I don't want to pay scalper prices. And yes, they're scalper prices because they're brand new. They were just they were released, and they're out there. They're not old, they're not vintage, they're newer figures, and I really don't see the purpose or the reason behind buying a whole bunch of figures and then going and putting them on eBay and selling them for jacked up prices. I'm not going to pay $87 for a Fatal Fluffy. Ever. 35, 40, I may for a bat, maybe. But I'd rather pay the $20 to a person that's in the G.I. Joe community that's not going to gouge its members or the collectors. Because yes, I'm a collector, but I buy one of each figure for my collection. I don't go out and buy two or three. I'd like to be able to buy two to have one open and have one hanging, but I don't. I actually open them. I eventually opened the figures that came with the Transformer G.I. Joe vehicles. So I mean, I have sealed the figures on my wall in the Dragon's Lair. I have a sealed 1982 Snake Eyes. I think it's the 9 card back, and it's got the little advertisement for ordering the Mickey Mouse Cobra Commander. I got a bunch of Fun School figures sealed, and I do have some of the collector series from 2000 to 2002 sealed, and I have some of the modern figures sealed because I thought they were cool looking, and I really wasn't planning on collecting modern, but I do have some that I probably will sell at some point. And one of the modern figures I got signed by Larry Hama. That was the Cobra Jetpack Trooper. Along with some sealed Star Wars action figures. And a couple of other G.I. Joe things. I think I have like one of those wind-up battle packs sealed, and I have I have a bunch of the accessory packs. I have 1, 5, 6, and vehicles sealed. I'd like to get 2, 3, and 4. And I have one of the Pocket Patrol pouches sealed, hanging on my wall. So, I mean, I do collect the sealed figures, but it's not my major thing. I buy one figure of each to open them up and put them with my collection. So I reach out to the people that watch my videos that are G.I. Joe collectors. Send me an email. I'll put a link down. I'll put my email down in the description box along with my Instagram, so you can see the photos of the figures. But please reach out if you have it and if you want to sell them. Okay, so moving on to Super 7. For the people that don't know, Super 7 is an action figure company. They make tons and tons of other action figures, and I'll put a link down below to their website too. What got me interested in looking at them is that they made some action figures that I would love to have in my collection. And then they also made G.I. Joe action figures. They were 5 points of articulation. They were basically Star Wars articulation in G.I. Joe form. So, I mean, those were called the reaction figures. So, about about 2 years ago, they were talking about doing bringing O-ring figures back for the fans. And in 2024, they did. And Wave 1 consisted of a Snake Eyes, a Bats, Cobra Commander, and CoverGirl. And the CoverGirl that was released from them was from the first original animated movie. And I did do it. I think I did a video of Wave 1. So those were cool. I got them. I was just missing the Bats, which sucked because I wanted that Bats. It was the Bats from the comic book instead of the cartoon, or from just the regular action figures. So it was blue and stuff instead of black, which was cool. And I like the idea that they're doing comic book accurate ones or cartoon accurate ones. But here's where my tangent rant goes. We really don't. I don't know if I'm the only fan of G.I. Joe that is like this, but I do know a couple other G.I. Joe action figure collectors are like this. We don't really need more Snake Eyeses. We don't really need more Cobra Commanders, Dukes. What we want are the figures we never got as kids. So getting a Fatal Fluffy, having a Fatal Fluffy action figure is cool. Really cool. Having Ramar, the giant slave that fought Duke in the original animated series movie, was cool. Cobra Commander in an Arctic jacket, yeah, it's cool, but it wasn't really needed. Cartoon accurate Wild Bill, yeah, he actually looks cool in the Dragonfly, and he does look cool in the Tomahawk. So I mean, that is kind of cool, but did we really need another Wild Bill? Not really. We wanted figures. We want figures. If they're making O-ring figures for Super 7 for Reaction Plus, let's have figures we never had in our collection before. Yeah, we have a Jinx from the 1987 collection, but a Jinx unmasked, like she was in the movie, was cool. It's cool, and it was worth it. Cobra Commander turning into a snake from the movie. It's cool, because Wave 4 is movie figures, which also consists of Falcon and the Royal Guard from Cobra Law, which we really didn't need another Cobra Law Guard or a Falcon. Mind you, you can build the Cobra Law Guards now more than you were able to back then because the army build them. You had to buy the 3-pack, and you didn't really want more than one Globulus or more than one Nemesis Enforcer. But there is the upside for having redoing the Royal Guard. You can army build it a lot easier now. And Wave 3 had Zartan as the lead singer of Cold Slither. Cool. But where's the other 3 members of the band? Hopefully they'll be coming out soon. Because we are getting Cold Slither from San Diego Comic Con in a couple of weeks for Classified. And Classified, I originally was never going to get into it, but then they made CoverGirl, and I had to get CoverGirl, and then they came out with the two first G.I. Joe figures I ever got when I was a kid, and that was Torpedo and Airborne. So I had to get those, and then one of the comic stores in my area put the Snake Eyes movie figures on sale for $5 a piece, and I bought Snake Eyes, Storm Shadow, and Scarlet. Or no, I just bought Scarlet and Storm Shadow. I wouldn't mind having the Baroness. Sorry, my eyes are starting to itch, and I don't know why. And a friend of mine gave me a Gung Ho. And then I went and got Lady J I found on sale, so I bought a Lady J. And then a bunch of other figures I found, and I bought the Python Patrol Televiper with the Trouble Bubble and Duke, Tiger Force Duke on the Tiger Force Ram, because they never made the Trouble Bubble or the Flight Pod and the Ram for those two subgroups in the original Vintage collection. So having those was cool. I also got Tiger Force Outback. So I'm collecting very few. I'm doing the Dreadnoks. I'm doing Tiger Force. I'm doing Python Patrol. I'm doing certain Cobra Troopers. I'm doing certain G.I. Joes. I do want to get classified versions of each of the original 16. So the 14 of the Joes and the 3 Cobras in classified. So those are cool. I get those. I have Hawk with the MMS on pre-order, and I have Monkey Wrench on pre-order. So hopefully those will come, and those will be cool. I don't really plan on getting any of the bigger vehicles. I didn't buy the Hiss. I didn't get the Dragonfly. Didn't get the Rattler. Because for one, I really don't have any places to put them. And for second, I'd rather just have the smaller vehicles. And then maybe go and see if somebody can just sell the individual figures. Because the Hiss, I would love to have the Mickey Mouse Cobra Commander from the Hiss HasLab. And from Dragonfly, I wouldn't mind having Glinda and the Night Force troops. I do want to get the O-ring version of the Sky Striker that came with the extra figures, because I would love to have a pilot Scarlet and Ace's co-pilot and the Night Force Ripcord. Those would be cool to have. And the Sky Striker has always been one of my favorite planes. I've always liked the F-14s. But moving on, sorry for that tangent. And yes, the Super 7 does have the Ultimates, which are their versions of Classified. And I haven't gotten any of those because their prices are a little too high for me. Where I can just go, and if I go to a comic book store and see Classifieds on sale for like half off or $5 or $10, cool. To where the Ultimates from Super 7 are between $45 to $55. Mind you, they do come with a lot more pieces and a lot of other cool things. But enough of that. Sorry. But as I was saying, I would love to see. I know Wave 5 is coming out in October, and I'm hoping that they're, because they said they were going to stick with the movie, because the movies were going to be part 1 and part 2 action figure lines. So I'm hoping Wave 5, that comes out in October, will have Pythona or Big Lob or both. Those are the two main figures from the movie that everybody wanted. We never got a Pythona when we were kids. We never got a Big Lob until we were kids. And we didn't get a Big Lob O-ring style, which more or less used repainted pieces to make a Big Lob from the convention slash G.I. Joe Collectors Club in O-ring. I think it came out, 2006, 2007? And it was like, yeah, okay, I didn't get it. I did get the modern version of Big Lob and the modern version of Pythona from the Collectors Club when the Collectors Club was still around. Because never had those, so might as well get them in the O-ring or the modern style. Because you eventually did get a modern style version of Nemesis Enforcer, which looked really cool. And so does his classified version. His classified version looks really, really good. But if Super 7 Watt clicks on my video by accident, or somebody's watching videos that deal with G.I. Joe and is part of Super 7, most of the fans want to see figures that we never got when we were kids. Making some of the cartoon accurate and comic book accurate ones every so often is cool. But we really didn't need 2 Snake Eyes in 3 waves. We got a Snake Eyes in Wave 1 and we got a Snake Eyes in Wave 3. And we got a Cobra Commander in Wave 1 and Wave 3. And in San Diego Comic-Con 2025, there's going to be a special release of a Serpentor in a red cape, and I do want it. It's a cartoon accurate Serpentor, so. And then it's also going to have a comic book accurate Bats that's got the bomb strapped to him. So do want those two, because the vintage is the main collection of mine. I've never, as most people grew up and grew out of G.I. Joe and stopped collecting and then got back into it as an adult, I actually never stopped. I continued. Even through high school, I was collecting G.I. Joes. I graduated in 92, so I was out of high school and was still collecting them. I was collecting them in high school. I stopped playing with them when it took me 2 hours to set them all up. And then I figured, okay, that's it, done. Now they mostly sit in cases and weapons bins or accessory bins for now, until I can get a more organized room or a bigger house that I can turn one room or turn the garage into a gaming room and a hobby room and display them, put them on display. But that's the thing. Most of us collectors and fans of the vintage collection want to see figures we never got. Okay, and some of the figures are cool. The Serpentor that Super 7 made, their cape actually is a lot more durable than the original one from 85 or 86. So I mean for Serpentor. But moving on. So Wave 4 consists of Once a Man Cobra Commander, Royal Guard from Cobra Law, Unmasked Jinx, and Falcon. Why Falcon? I'm not really sure. But these are the movie accurate outfits. So he is movie accurate. And I always thought, even when I was a kid, I always thought Falcon should have been part of the Renegade 3-pack. They should have made 4-pack for Cobra La and a 4-pack for the Renegades and put Falcon in with the Renegades. Since after he got into trouble, he spent a lot of time with the Renegades in the animated movie. And then they could have made Pythona and had it in the 4-pack. But other than that, I got two. I got Jinx and I got Once a Man Cobra Commander, which is cool. I wanted these two. I wanted an unmasked Jinx because she was unmasked most of the way through the whole movie up until like maybe the last 3, 4, maybe 5 minutes of the ending of the movie, to where she's fighting Pythona and she takes off her mask and puts her blindfold on, which she doesn't come with a blindfold. But I can solve that problem by taking the blindfold from one of the second generation figures and giving it to her as long as it fits. But the cool thing about these is Super 7 makes their card backs look retro. These look like they could have been from the 80s or early 90s. Well, more or less from the 80s, because the 90s looked a little different. Except for the Reaction plus sign here and the Super 7 up there. But we do have the Hasbro logo down here, so I mean, and they have they have all the figures that they've released so far on the back. They have the file card. And it says collect them all, and it says create your own G.I. Joe Mobile Strike Force and clip and save for your G.I. Joe command files. Exactly what they said on the original card backs. And even when they're sealed, you actually have the accessory listing on the side, which is cool. And the cool thing about this one is that it talks about him being part of Cobra La, a nobleman in Cobra La, transforming, and then Cobra La creating Cobra, then him getting into trouble with Globulus and being turned into the Snake. So I mean, that's cool. That's something we would have loved this figure as a kid. And then and the file cards are detailed. They look the same. A lot of the file cards are just reprints of the original Hasbro file cards that Larry Hama wrote. So I mean, and on here we have a tan file card for Jinx, because the original Jinx one was gray. And they still made her file name top secret, even though anybody that collects G.I. Joes or read the comics knows her name is Kim Arashikage. So I mean, but these two figures are cool. Cobra Commander, and these are all the multiple points of articulation. You got the swivel arm battle grip, you got the wrist or the elbows, you got the shoulders, you got the knees, you got the waist, and you even got the bobbing heads. So those are very cool. And that's the Once a Man Snake Cobra Commander turning into a snake. There we go. I see him a lot better now. I don't have any white paper down here. Ooh. So, but this is cool. And he comes with the little spore that transformed him. So that's cool. And this is actually a really cool figure. I like the Super 7 figures. As much as I just complained about them making remakes or making more Snake Eyeses and ones that we really didn't need or want. But still collected them. Still got them. They're still part of the collection. And then here's Jinx. And she's got the up and down head. The ball joint. Same articulation. But the cool thing is she comes with her training batons that she kicked once she put her blindfold on, that she kicked Beachhead's ass with. And they do fit in her hand, so she can hold them. Cobra Commander can't hold the spore. So, I mean, but she's got those. So you can actually recreate the scene in the training gym with her beating Beachhead. And I brought down an extra Jinx 87 backpack to show you that, yes, some of the old weapons and some of the old equipment will work. It's on there, but it is a little loose. So they do fit. They're almost the same size. The one thing that isn't the same size are the peg holes, or the battle stand holes. These are actually a little bit bigger. They don't fit on the vintage battle stands. So, but those are the two. I do have Falcon, and I do have the Royal Guard on pre-order on with a toy company. So when they specifically release them, I'll have mine, which is around August 5th, which is good. Because I am making another video why I haven't been on doing YouTube videos for a couple of weeks. I've had a lot of family problems and family crisis. Actually, it's not a crisis. It was a situation that I was hoping to deal with that would only take a couple of days, but it's been a week and 2 days for it now. But I'll talk about that later in another video. And then I do want to make a video of a couple more of my books that I did get published. But other than that, those are the two parts of Wave 4 for the G.I. Joe Super 7, the Reaction Plus figures. So I hope you liked this video. And go back and watch my other videos. I did do a thing for Wave 3, because I bought Wave 3 all at once. Because why not? Because even though the only figure I really wanted in Wave 3 was Zartan as the Cold Slither lead singer. And maybe the Arctic Coat Cobra Commander. But it was easier just to buy all 4 figures. And as I said earlier, if anybody watches this video that collects the G.I. Joe reaction figures and has spare one of those spare figures of those 3 that I need, please email me. So other than that, I hope you liked this video. Stay tuned, because I also have another video coming on maybe tomorrow or the next day that will deal with the first issue of the new campaign for the year from Dungeon in a Box. So hope you'll enjoy that, and I'll see you all guys later.